Welcome back to the 5th episode of the New Moon podcast and the very first episode for the year of 2023. I'm your host, Ali Marchand, and sitting next to me is the one, the only, Sandro Cazzato. Sandro is a coach and sales expert who has now managed to grow to manage a team of over 50,000 people across Europe. Sandro has learned so much on his journey towards success, and this podcast is just to help share the lessons he's learned along the way. If you haven't joined, welcome. If you haven't listened to the other 4 episodes, I highly recommend. Sandro has already shared so many good tips and just advice for having your own business, being an entrepreneur, being more successful. And we ended the year with a review of some of your successes and failures, along with some advice and tools to help the audience start this year in a meaningful way. That's a great place to start if you haven't listened to this podcast already. But in the meantime, welcome, Sandro.
Hi, Ali. I'm very happy to be here and to start the year with you on this podcast. So I'm very excited about the questions that you're going to ask me today.
Perfect. So today's episode, I really wanted to dive all into this topic of mindset and motivation, and how maybe one can work on it within yourself and how you can put yourself in the right environment. But before we get too deep into that, I just wanted to ask you, how's your year been so far?
So my year started pretty strong, I would say. Of course, it was strategically planned like this because it's always a bit dangerous with all the holidays that we have in between the years, that people go in this hibernating status, and then it needs really time until they come back. So we elaborated a strategy to keep them up and active during the end of the last year and to start strong with them, with the most motivated ones. Of course, it's the minority, but it's okay. It's always like this. But with these people, we started very strong in the new year. It was unbelievable to see these figures and also this kind of activity in January. But I'm very happy about it. I'm very happy how the team is performing. And I just came back from Munich, where I held the first 2 events. It was also crazy because we planned originally to do 1. This was sold out within a few minutes. And then we planned the day after a second one, which was again sold out within a few minutes. And this coming weekend, I'm going to be in Latvia to kick off the country because we have many people there working already in our community. So it's going to be amazing. So January is perfect so far.
Sounds like you don't waste any time at all.
No.
Can you talk to me a little bit about the strategy you had for your team on how kind of not to waste so much time over the holidays and this new year, how to be more active?
Sure. So I think for every manager in my team, as also for me, the most difficult part is to make the right selection of people. That means our time is precious. The biggest mistake is if you want to dedicate the same amount of time and energies to all of your members, because this is not going to work. So what you want to do, you want to recognize the minority. This is the ones that don't just talk, but to show you with their activities on a daily basis that they really follow you, they are coachable, they are willing to do what you ask from them. So we started a challenge during the last 4 days of the year, and we asked people to do some special things during these last 4 days, and we promised them to create a masterclass for all those who were willing to do what we were asking for. So within 2 days, we were more than 1,000 people that committed. And we basically created this masterclass. And during the first 15 days of January, we generated extra content for them, inviting also special guests, special speakers, also from other companies who achieved incredible things in this profession. So they really appreciated this because, we we always want to offer the best to our community. And at the end of the day, we had really 1,000 very motivated people. The cool thing is that, of course, there was also something to win. And we are still finding 2 people of this 1,000 people, which will come with us to visit the production site of our partner company in June. So it's something that, in a very playful way, brought us very motivated people to the surface. And like this, we generated kind of a win-win-win situation, because everybody was really appreciating this very intense phase that is still going on.
Wow, that's incredible. It sounds like what a great situation that you were able, as a manager, to provide incentives and set goals for those who are motivated. Although it wasn't required, it sounds like, for your whole entire team, it did give those who were willing to do so and motivated to do so a chance to really stand out. And those incentives really seemed worthwhile. So it's not like you as a manager were saying, hey, you should do this, but I don't have that much to give you. It's like, I really want to reward you, and I really want to incentivize you to push that extra kilometer further, or, you know, go that extra mile.
Absolutely. I mean, I think that's the difference between being an employee and being an entrepreneur. Every kind of incentive or initiative or campaign that you launch, of course, it costs something, but it's an investment in your business. An employee gets his salary every month, takes the money, put it in his pocket, or pays the bills or the rent or whatever. No way this person will think about investing this money in what exactly, when the business is not his business or her business. So the point is, we have really this cool thing that you can take what you earn and reinvest a part of it to generate even more. This is how normally an entrepreneur thinks. And this is where we want to bring all of our people, because we are many entrepreneurs on their journey to become a very good entrepreneur. And since we lead by example, we want to do it from the top to down, like this.
That's incredible. I think even managers in traditional companies like consulting or banks could take something out of this. I think people underestimate how important it is to really give to employees and make sure they're happy and make sure they're receiving what they want out of their job. And if they're not, maybe it's time to find other people. But your job as a manager, and it sounds like you live by this, is to make sure the right incentives are there and to make sure that people are motivated and in that right mindset.
Absolutely. I mean, even if you are a manager in a company, paid by the company because you're an employee at the end of the day, you will get probably fairly paid in a very good way. But who says that this is your salary, that you need to take everything and use it for yourself? Why won't you take, even if it's just a little thing, if it's just a dinner that you give during the month to the best employee of the month, why not doing this? I mean, this person will be recognized for their extra that they do during the month. You will have a very motivated team, and you will also have a very good reputation because you start incentives from your own pocket.
Absolutely.
So you can just win with this kind of attitude.
Absolutely. I think the most successful companies are made of the happiest employees.
That's it.
So this is actually a really great segue into what I wanted to discuss today, which is really this topic of mindset and motivation. And I think it's so easy for mindset to get in your way and to be, you know, hurting you instead of helping you. So can you talk to me a little bit about how important mindset is to you and what the right mindset means to you?
So mindset is a very common topic nowadays. I think the second abused word after comfort zone is mindset. Especially since we have social media and since everybody is with reels on Instagram teaching us what mindset means or what this comfort zone is. I think mindset is something that should be like neutral. You know what I mean? Nowadays, either you have a bad mindset or a good mindset, but I think that human beings have been made with a neutral mindset, and the experiences, the skills, the competences, the things that happen during our life will shape this mindset. So people think that mindset, you can teach mindset. You cannot teach mindset, as you cannot teach motivation. Mindset is something that you need to accept and realize that you can make the difference in this world. So you can decide, I want to go left, or do I want to go on the right side? There is no wrong and there is no right. The thing is that many people have this so-called fixed mindset. That means that you will hear sentences like, oh, I'm not able to do this. I'm not a person that can do this. The thing is that people think that someone else decided for them. And either you are in this category or you are not part of this category. But very honestly speaking, what's the reason why you're here and not here? It's because you're not willing to do what it takes to get from here to here. Because if you look at the most successful sports players, I don't know if we want to name Cristiano Ronaldo, for example. If you look at him playing and you make the comparison, I hope he won't see this podcast, with Lionel Messi, for example. I mean, in the nature of their movements, you can clearly see that Lionel Messi is much more fluent. So if I need to take one of the two and say this is a talent, to me, Lionel Messi is more of a talent than Cristiano Ronaldo. But Cristiano Ronaldo decided that he wanted to be the best. So everybody talks about it, and you can see how much he works for this. I don't want to see his day. I think sometimes my day is already full. I don't want to see his day, because maybe I think he goes from this gym to train this, to train this, to train that. He is many hours on the court to improve his skills. So he decided to be the best, but he also decided to do what it takes to be the best. He could have said, oh, I'm not talented for football. It's not my world, you know. Today, I mean, we know he just subscribed, signed a contract for over 200 millions a year. So imagine he would have said many years ago, football, it's not for me. I'm not talented. Okay. So this is an extreme example, because I want people to learn to say a very short word behind every sentence, which is yet. Okay. That means you cannot plan your day. You cannot plan your day yet. Because everything can be learned, and what can be learned can be practiced, and what can be practiced can be achieved, and it will bring us the results. Maybe not in one day, maybe not in 1 week or in 1 month, but for sure, if we are patient enough with ourselves, and if we are hungry enough to really want this, we will achieve it sooner or later. That's the point.
I love that. I think you've brought that up in another episode, that it's something that you actively practice with yourself as well, right? If you notice some negative thoughts, or if you kind of see that you're not where you want to be, you always add that word yet to the end of your thoughts or your sentences.
And it's not that I was born like this. I mean, just to open a little story. When I was a kid, I was chubby, you know, and I hated when we had once a week sports with the school. Why? Because I wasn't able to run fast. I wasn't able to do all the kind of movements that we had to do when the teacher wanted from us that we did some specific exercises. So instead of thinking, Sandro, do it because sooner or later you will be able to do it, I was simulating that I had tummy pains. And believe me, this is not something that as a kid you really want to go through, because it brings you in a place where you know that you are kind of the last of your class. Also, when we had this athletics sports days outside, sprinting 100 meters, I was the slowest of all the boys. So getting results in business automatically brought me to the point to improve my mindset. And the day arrived when at the age of 24, I decided to hire a personal trainer, because I knew it was a matter of getting the right discipline and the daily tasks done that would have taken me to the result I wanted to have. 6 months later, just 6 months later, after following day by day this plan, I had the body that I always wanted to have, because I was working out, I was eating correctly. What I want to say with that is that you don't need to have the right genetics or to be a talent to be able to achieve something. You just need to take a decision and to do what it takes on a daily basis, step by step, to achieve the wanted result. So I don't like when people bring up excuses, my parents and my past and my bad experiences, because this is all gone, it's all past. If you want to see a change, you need to be the change. And you need to do what it takes. You need to follow who gives you advices, who really wants your best, because this person can really take you to the next level. But you need to make the first step in your head and know, I can make the difference if I want.
Absolutely. I think what you just described there is what I would call, what a lot of people fall into, is this trap of like the victim mentality of playing the victim in their own lives. That leads to envy and being jealous and blaming others for your misfortunes or whatnot. And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, what you're saying is that each of us are in full control of our circumstances and our mindset. And so it might not be that everything in life is completely fair. Some people might be born into less fortunate circumstances and other people might be born into very fortunate circumstances. But that doesn't mean that both people can't achieve the right mindset that will take them to that next level, to that next place where they might want to go to.
Yeah. I fully agree. And the last thing that you said, that sometimes I imagine myself being born in a country which doesn't give you the same opportunities like we have, for example, here in Switzerland. And how stupid would it be from my side not using everything that was given to me and make something good out of it? So to all the people that play this role of a victim, and we're talking here about small stuff, nonsense stuff. Imagine yourself, your person, Sandro Cazzato, being born and raised somewhere in a country where maybe you suffer hunger, you don't have a roof over your head. So you're in this comfortable situation right now. Who are you to complain if the exact same you could be in a circumstance that is so much worse? And why don't you do the best out of it, saying thank you, being grateful, and doing what it takes to achieve things that you have there in your reach? That's a bit the attitude and also the mindset that people should start having. Of course, this is a process that you need to go through, and mindset is very simply explained. You have a dynamic mindset, which is like an open mindset, or you have a closed mindset. The closed mindset is the one that where you say, no, I can do this, it's not for me, I'm not meant for this kind of stuff. And the open mindset says, yes, I can learn to do that. Maybe I'm not able now, but I will be able to do it after I learned it. Or yes, why not? These are the people who you can really recognize having an open mindset. The difference between one and the other is nothing.
Right.
Nothing. It's
Yeah.
a decision to face life challenges and opportunities in a completely different way. So start listening to people, because at the end of the day, what changes are the words that they are using. Someone is talking about problems, someone else is talking about challenges, solutions,
Right.
whatever. Okay.
Yeah.
So it means really that people need to change just a bit the perspective
Mm-hmm.
and understand that we all can do it. It's just a matter of deciding.
Right. And I think you just mentioned this, but it is a process. You know, if somebody is in not the best mindset, it's hard to tell them, just wake up and think differently, right?
Of course.
So if somebody on your team was, you know, because we all have ups and downs. I can speak for myself. Some days I feel really good. Some days I feel not so good about myself.
Yeah.
And I feel like there's clouds over. So if somebody in your team has kind of fallen in this trap of thinking not so positively, and it's hard to find that motivation for them, besides adding this word yet to thoughts and sentences and trying to turn things into the positive, what would you tell them, like on your team, to get someone out of that rut?
Okay. So you just mentioned motivation. Okay. There are days maybe where we wake up, we open our eyes, and we are so full of energy that we just want to start our day. Other days we wake up, we open the eyes, and we think, oh no, let me stay another 20 minutes in bed. Or we don't have really clear how this day will look, because usually when you are motivated, it seems like you can close your eyes and go through the next 24 hours, and you know how many things you will be able to achieve during this time frame. So the thing is, motivation is something that also, that like mindset, you cannot teach motivation. I cannot show you how to get motivation. So many times I have people calling me and asking me, Sandro, can you come in a meeting of my team or on a Zoom call with my team? They need to be motivated. And usually I tell them, listen, I can come. No worries. I will come always when you ask me. But what's going to happen is these people will stay motivated for a few hours or for a few days. And then you're going to call me again and you will ask me, Sandro, can you please come? Okay. So this cannot be the right thing to do. Okay. Because what I want to achieve in my team and in my community is that motivation comes from their inside. And I've noticed with the time that you need 3 components to be motivated. First component is clear objectives. When you have clear objectives, clear goals, which are set, written somewhere, and you know why you wake up every day to come closer to this objective or to this goal, this is already a very, very important part of the whole thing. Second component are the skills and competences. I mean, I'm sure you remember maybe when you learned a new profession or a new job or a new skill. In the beginning, it's always hard, right? And sometimes I just try to remember when I learned skiing. I mean, these shoes are so heavy and you can barely walk, and the next day everything hurts and you say, you know what, today I'm gonna sit somewhere, drink a hot chocolate or a coffee, and I'm done with skiing. Okay, that's normal because every beginning is difficult and hard. But already on the 3rd day, you start to be excited because you can go fast. You manage how to stop with your skis, how to do the curves and everything. So motivation comes when the competences start to become better, clearer, and you will also have the results that you want. So usually every profession and every job, you don't need to manage like 100 skills. It's a bunch of skills that you need to learn and to improve and to become and to master with the time. So I strongly recommend to become good at the basics of your profession. Learn the basics, learn the skills, and you will become better. And the motivation comes when you know that you will go to the office or to the place where you work on or doing some sports, and you're good at what you do. But for this, you need patience, you need time, you need experience. So be patient, but also here be hungry to be a fast learner. Third is the values that you stand for, okay, or that your community stands for. We have very noble values in our community, which is the fact that we all help each other. One stands next to another one until this person is able to walk alone and to do their things by themselves. We also believe in we don't need to use our elbows to be the first, because there is enough space for everyone, so we don't do this kind of things. And it doesn't matter to which culture, to which religion, to which skin color you have or you belong to. It's a matter of that everybody can work together when we want to fulfill like a common purpose. And these three components, I can guarantee you, if these three things are set and you're working on these three things, your motivation will come from the inside. And out of a sudden, someone of your team is going to call you and is going to ask you to join their call to motivate their people. Okay? So this is a matter of time, as I said, of experience. You need to be patient with yourself because it's a process that everybody is going through. The fun fact is that when we learn a profession, we do some kind of apprenticeship. It takes 2 years, it takes 3 years, and the job is starting in theory only after the apprenticeship. And also then you need 5 years until you become a professional, and after this you become a master. Or people think that they start in our business and after 2 weeks either they master the profession or it doesn't work. So it's not how it works. This is a proper profession. You need to give yourself the time until you understand how everything goes and until you learn what's needed to become a pro in this business. And then we can really say that you have done what it takes.
That's great. So you have your own little formula for motivation, it seems. Can we just go over that one more time? Motivation, or how to keep yourself motivated and on track, is the sum of time, experience, and values.
Exactly.
Is that right?
Is that right? Of course, the most important thing is the objective, the purpose, what you want to achieve with that, okay? Towards what are you going, what you want to get yourself, or in which place you want to bring yourself. That's the strongest thing, because this is something that you need always to keep in front of your eyes.
Okay, I love that. So that can be a little takeaway for the audience today. Maybe as an exercise, start with your objective, your guiding light. Where are you going towards? And then just write down all of your experience, everything that you're good at, all of your values, things that keep you grounded. And then give yourself time. Maybe set some objectives for 1 year or 2 years, 5 years. Maybe that's something that the audience can have as a little homework today. What do you think, Sandro?
Absolutely. I love to give assignments to my people. So if you want, I can give you also a little assignment.
Please.
And that's what Ellie just said. Set your goals. Okay. Let's start with 1 year goal, because many people cannot see beyond that. Okay, already seeing what is going to happen until the end of the year is difficult, but set your goals, professional goals, private goals that you want to achieve. Okay, number 1. Number 2, write down the 5 basic skills that you need to master your profession. And for what do you stand for what you want to be known by other people as a person whose values are A, B, C. And this will you will also write down.
I love that. Well, I think I have one more question for you.
Mm-hmm.
I think you know the question. We end every episode like this.
Yeah.
And I just want to know what you're up to for the next new moon cycle, the next 30 days. So what can we expect from Sandro before our next podcast?
So I will define the next 30 days as preparation. And you will ask me, preparation for what? So we are planning to go an extremely intense phase, which goes from 1st of March until the last day of May. 90 days of fire.
Wow.
Okay. And for this, we want to prepare ourselves. It's going to be really preparing for some life-changing phase, because it's not the first time we are doing this. With my team, we did already 3 of these phases, and this is what brought us to be 50,000 today. So you can imagine the explosion that is going to happen when 50,000 people go all together in such an intense phase.
Powerful.
I'm really excited about it, and it's going to be a very important phase because we want to prepare all the instruments, all the tools, all the strategies. We're going to prepare our team, okay? We're going to sharpen our mindset. We're going to pump the motivation to a place where people are motivated from the inside, because what I can foresee is that, yeah, it's a huge opportunity, but it won't be easy. So people which are not motivated means no objectives, don't master the skills, and don't know why they are doing it, are going to face really some hard times, because we push ourselves to the limit, but this preparation is going to really put ourselves in a state like a sprinter goes to the mark, he goes down and he waits the shot, the signal, okay? This is how we're going to do it. So I'm very excited, because I know how these 90 days are going to be, and my team, they are burning already now for this phase. So I'm very looking forward to the next months. Yes.
What an exciting time. And it sounds like you're ready for it. Your team is ready for it.
Absolutely.
Great. Well, if you can't get enough of Sandro, we have Apple Music, Spotify, YouTube, and Instagram. Did I miss any, Sandro?
No, that's it for now.
Can you share your Instagram?
My Instagram is Sandro. You simply replace the A with the number 7, which is my favorite number.
And Sandro goes on YouTube lives. You go on Instagram lives. You can even join one of your coaching sessions, I think you mentioned, on YouTube. Yeah,
so for now they are limited for team members, but you can become a team member if you want. That's the other way to get coached by me and by us. So yes.
Many ways to connect. And if you do enjoy this podcast, please leave us a like, a comment, a follow, a subscribe on Spotify or Apple. We enjoy these conversations, and we would love to hear from you. If you want any advice or have any questions for Sandro, we would be happy to include them in the next episode. Until the next new moon. Thanks, Sandro.
Thank you, Ali.